so cute because you just said that you never thought that you would be here. Yeah. And I'm like so curious as to why you think that. Like, I want to hear about your roots and like kind of how you got here.
Well, it's crazy. I got here by like a chance, really. Like when I started the account too, it was never meant to be this like fashion-centric place. I always dreamed of that. I like grew up watching The Devil Wears Prada. My mom worked in fashion. She was a fashion importer. So fashion was always in my like sphere.
Okay.
And it was a dream.
Yeah.
You know, to be in the world of Vogue and the fashion and the whatever.
The glamour of it all. Yeah. I mean, I had that same dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we grew up with it. Like those were our idols growing up. The like Vanity Fairs and the Vogues and the, you know, and the people that worked there and made those places.
Yes,
what
that's who we
today.
looked up to for our like what we were supposed to wear.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It wasn't like an influencer-based economy.
No.
Yeah.
No, it was that for me. But so even when I started the account, I never meant for it to be this fashion, you know, this place where I'm now in the fashion space, in the fashion industry and working with so many fashion icons like yourself.
Stop.
But the account started as just like a place for me to be sharing my home and how I was achieving my version of affordable like homeware, and that was through vintage. And it really just started as like kind of even like a mood board. And then I slowly, I guess, started building a small following and just sharing my home. And then one day I had amassed these vintage Hermes little dishes.
Okay.
This is such a long-winded answer.
But how did you amass these dishes?
I bought them on eBay.
Okay.
And they were like, they had a glass bottom and a plastic top.
Yeah.
And they just like flew. I put them on my story. I was like, I have 6 of these, and they were gone in like an hour.
And you had never sold anything before that?
Never.
And did you have an intention on selling anything?
No,
or you were just like, I bought these and I want to get, like, I don't need all them.
I'm only keeping one. I still have one on my bedside to this day. And yeah, they were gone. And I realized in that moment that, okay, I had a following that was interested in more than just watching something. They were interested in engaging somehow. And that was through buying something that I curated. And I loved that. I loved that I was able to curate something that someone else said, you know what, I want that so badly that I'm going to buy that from her, whoever this person is. So then I had an idea to do vintage homeware drops, because at that point my account was still very much so dedicated to vintage homeware. And it slowly just started growing. I was doing like vintage ashtray drops, vintage coffee table books.
Okay. So like accessories for the home, decor items, and like coffee table type things.
And this was 2020. I don't know if you remember, but like vintage homeware was the rage. The travertine tables.
Yes.
The vintage homeware accounts were popping up all over the place.
Which was always weird for me because it was something that I've always been into. But I think that that's like having grown up with parents that my mom especially took me antique shopping all the time when I was young, like was always thrifting, vintage shopping, like loved it. Yeah.
So through that, then kind of, well, that's where the name Millennial Decorator comes from, because it was supposed to be like a decor-centric account. Then one day, maybe like this was 2021, I had like amassed a few pairs of vintage heels, and it was the same thing. Like, I don't want these anymore. I'm not wearing them actively. They're not going to stay with me throughout my life. And I decided to ask my followers if they wanted a clothing drop. And enough people responded to where I was like, okay, I'm going to do a clothing-centric drop. I decided not to include clothes because I didn't think that it was inclusive enough. Like, I always say this, but I would be including like one vintage Versace top that fit one person. It's also very hard to tell online if something
It's so
will
hard.
fit you.
I always think for clothes, vintage shopping is one of those things that you kind of have to do in person because it's not obviously typical sizing, and who knows the brand. And yeah, that's a really hard thing to do. And I'm sure for you starting out, you didn't want to have to deal with that headache.
No.
Yeah.
And vintage shoes fit everyone. I've sourced size 34 to 42, 43. So for women.
And I feel like, and you can tell me if this is true, but women are more apt to spend on accessories than on clothes. Or maybe that's just my mentality. I'm like, whatever. I'm in a Madewell t-shirt and like Sammy Miro sweats. And then I have my vintage Chanel's and like my Bottega bag. Like that's I don't know. That's my vibe, but maybe your customer or like you see the trend being different.
I didn't know any of this when I started it either. Yeah. I wasn't like, oh, women are more likely to spend on, like I didn't know that. From what I've seen is obviously now, and you've seen this too, there's a massive interest in shoes and accessories, especially vintage shoes. Yeah. And I think I kind of carved out that niche that no one was expecting.
Yeah, for sure.
And so today the account has really just grown. I still do a little bit of the homeware, but really mainly it's vintage shoes. And we do vintage shoe drops every month or so, every 2 months. I work with designers. I've worked with designers for their first show for Fashion Week. It's been crazy.
It's so amazing. So tell me first, like why vintage? Like what attracted you first to vintage and what feels like special about it for you?
I think similar to you, I grew up with that mentality of like it was always around. My mom was a single mom. Most of my things that I had when I was an infant were secondhand. I had like a secondhand crib. I had toys from, I still have her. I have a baby doll from the 50s. Yeah. My mom thrifted all these things from Goodwill when it wasn't even cool. It was just what needed to be done. Not everything in my life was thrifted, and still to this day, not everything is. But it was something I grew up with, and it was always kind of a part of my DNA and the things that were around me. I think I love vintage today, and especially curating drops in a business is because it is special. It is unique.
Exactly.
I'm not mass producing things that hundreds and thousands of people can have, and that's great too. And maybe one day that'll be the case, but I'm finding like one of ones. I'm finding special pairs of shoes that mean something and signify something to so many different people.
Yeah. I feel like my love for vintage, like I started getting into it then as I've gotten older, I've just realized that the things that I've kept and the things that I've worn the most are the vintage pieces that are like classic and never go out of style. Yeah. So that's why I always feel like I'm also justifying them as investment pieces, like if anything ever were to happen, I have these things to sell. But in terms of like the drops, you said you have 1 or 2 drops a month. So how do you organize those? Like I know you have like a fun theme coming up, but are you looking for specific things, or is it just like, and are you theming things out, or are you just like seeing what's around in the market? Yeah.
No, I'm always looking for something very specific.
Okay.
Even if I have a vintage shoe drop that's more of like a general topic, like let's say I came up with an idea to do like a sexy strappy summer drop.
Love
with like
that.
A bunch of sexy summer heels that you can wear. It's usually I'm looking for very specific shoes, something that like catches my eye, or a style that I like, or a style that I might have in my possession that I want to iterate off of, or a color tone. So it's always pretty specific. Hence it taking a while
to source everything.
Yeah. To put it all together, and then you're shooting it, and the whole process.
I bet the sourcing is probably the hardest part. And not to like give your secrets on sourcing, but like just for the person who doesn't know, like just what does that sourcing process look like?
So the best way that I could explain it is it's like herding cats.
Yeah.
It's like just
finding all these like vintage hoarder type people that you're just
and literally just seeing what you can just scoop up
garage sales.
Luckily I'm not doing the garage sale circuit. I'm not even doing the thrift store circuit. I actually don't like either of them. I think they're really energy draining because it's usually so specific. I'm either looking online for something very specifically, reaching out to vintage sourcers that I worked with. I also have individuals that I work with too on an individual basis, whether they're followers of mine or, vintage dealers. I got a text from a girl who's a follower of mine who somehow has the best vintage heels. I don't know how she amasses them, but she'll message me maybe like once a month, every once in 2 months, and be like, I'm selling these heels. Do you want to buy them? And usually I buy them. And they're like the rosebud Chanel heels that like everyone, it's like a holy grail.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not asking any questions.
Totally. I'll just take them.
I'm taking them.
Yeah. And like, it takes a lot of knowing fashion history too, to do this as well. Was that something that you had like always been interested in? And how did you learn all that stuff?
It's a good question. Yes. The short answer is yes. I like grew up, like I said, you know, watching Sex and the City, watching these movies and shows that portrayed fashion in a really captivating way. And that imagery was always kind of ingrained in my mind. Also having a parent that like, you know, taught me about the importance of, you know, quality fabrics really young, not wearing polyesters, wearing, you know, 100% things cotton, having a parent who like, you know, my mom has had a Dolce & Gabbana cardigan for 30 years.
Yeah.
That, you know, and that's her cardigan that she wears. So it was always around, and I always just had a massive interest in it. With shoes, I've had a lot of learning, and like you see different styles, and as you source, you see the different time periods shoes come from. So it's been a great like learning curve too.
Yeah, it's so fun because there's the education piece that comes into it too. Like you're always learning, and there's always like new trends to look into.
Yeah.
So in terms of the drops, like for small businesses that have that kind of model, because I'm really interested in that drop model where it's just like, okay, this is out, take it or leave it. Do you have any tips for small businesses about planning for those small drops, or like a strategy when it comes to that?
I would say part of what makes a drop feel special and like the lead up to it, obviously I do it for economical reasons. I'm not, and also consumerism reasons. I've never been a brand that's like about massive consumerism and just massive buying, whether or not you're vintage. So for me, when I do drop, it's because I want it to feel special and cohesive, and I don't want there to be a new pair of shoes every day on my site.
Right.
Just personally.
Right. Because, yeah, you're totally right. It makes the like specialness of that pair feel not as special when there's newness all the time.
Right.
Like, I know I'm thinking about a store online that I feel, yeah, I won't name names, but they sell so much vintage stuff that by the time I'm scrolling through the 5th page, I'm like, this is all just looking like product to me now.
Right.
And I can't even, there's like so much I want that like nothing is special to me.
Right.
So I totally value that. Yeah.
Well, the vintage industry as a whole is like a $1 billion industry and growing. So when you talk about like massive consumerism or just consumerism, I think that it can stand true for whether it's vintage or not.
Yeah.
Obviously with vintage, it's a little bit more ethical because you're not buying something that's been mass produced. But for me, it's about that promotion of like, I don't really believe in always, you know, having something out there to sell that's shiny, that's new every day. But in terms of tips for small businesses, I would say that like lead up and really making it feel special versus just, okay, it's the 15th of the month, here's 10 new pairs of shoes you can buy. You know, like what's the story, what's the purpose, I think makes it stand out.
Yeah, I think it's so like great what you do with the little photo shoots leading up to it and curating the whole lifestyle moments.
The best part.
And I feel like that's like a signature thing that you've done, you know, like the sink series and the coffee table and like the little dishes and everything. So you have an upcoming Carolyn Bessette Kennedy drop, which is really exciting. When's that coming out? And tell us about it.
It's coming out in less than 1 week on June 11th.
Oh my God, I'm so excited.
She's been such a style icon to me in so many.
Same.
Like,
so like effortless and cool, and it just feels like anyone can pull it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does feel that way. And part of the interest into Carolyn Bessette for me was that she was so timeless. And everything that I'm trying to curate from like my brand's perspective and from shoes specifically is always that timeless nature. That pair of Manolos that's going to stay with you forever. Not the like butterfly flashy heels that are vintage Versace or whatever that you're going to have for one summer and then you're going to want to relist in September.
100%.
So for me, that like ethos that she had was just so interesting. And the more that I looked at her outfits, the more I looked at her shoes specifically too. And for everything she wore, she was so timeless. She didn't have 100 pairs of shoes. She had her like 7 that she
what
wore
were some
routinely.
what were some of her faves?
So she loved Prada.
Okay.
That's another thing too. And I think our parents probably did this, but that I noticed she did. She had things made in different color renditions that she really loved.
Oh, interesting.
So like a Prada coat, she would have it custom made in 3 different colors, and she would like regularly just wear that coat.
Would she have Prada make it, or would she have,
So she was the same with her shoes too. You know, she would have like renditions of things. She loved her Prada boots.
Okay.
That I have in the drop. They're kind of like almost like black socket boots. They're leather with a thick heel. She loved Manolos. She was a Prada and Manolo girl.
I totally see that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She had some really special pairs of Manolos that I've been able to track down, like one-of-ones.
Like more kitten heel vibe or heel?
She wore pairs that I've never seen before.
Oh my God, I'm so excited.
Other pairs she wore that I included, you can find like those slingbacks, the classic patent pointed toe slingbacks, or the like croc effect Manolo sandals. But all the shoes she wore, whether they're accessible or not, were like insanely timeless, and she wore them with different outfits, which I just love seeing.
I think the simplicity about her is also something that I'm so attracted to, because it's something I feel like I'm so not.
Yeah.
Like when it comes to just like all my stuff and all my, I want to simplify, you know, like you always want to look like she can put together and whatever, but I just feel like it's so hard for me. And so I respect that sense of style so much.
Me too.
You know, I'm always like, I should take something off. Like, yeah, you know?
Well, no, I think you're so chic and minimal, but I understand that. When we were shooting, I was like very much so wanted to replicate her looks, because I had my friend Kim Quitner. She's an amazing stylist. She literally recreated Carolyn's most famous outfits to pair with the shoes to a T, using all vintage.
And you shot this in New York, right? This is something,
we flew to New York. So I wanted to match the looks to a T, but Sarah Walker, who's another great friend of mine, modeled it, and she kept saying like, I want to put like an earring on, like I want to put like a necklace on or something. And we were shocked because Carolyn never wore earrings pretty much. She never wore necklaces. She never even wore she wore a wedding band, you know,
but
like
nothing with like a stone, nothing flashy. Did she wear a watch?
She wore a watch few times, not every day, but it's rumored she wore her mother-in-law, Jackie Kennedy's Cartier tank that Kim Kardashian bought.
Stop it.
Yeah. As a silent bidder.
Oh my God. Do you want to hear a really sad story?
Yeah.
Not really sad, because it's like I have to keep it in perspective.
No, but yes.
But Timmy got me a tank and I lost it.
A lot of people lose watches. A lot.
It was devastating.
I know.
Yeah. Like I can't.
Someone commented on my Instagram yesterday and they were like, my daughter received, you know, a tank. I'm so excited to see this, you know, and she lost it. But it happens literally all the time.
Yeah, I know. I have to not be so hard on myself. But I'm curious though about your closet organization situation, because you probably have like maybe a studio space or a room with all of your work stuff. And then how do you keep yourself organized? And like, do you edit constantly? Yeah. What does that look like for you?
I keep myself organized by not having a ton of inventory. I like not holding on to a lot of inventory. And that's again because I'm not sourcing every single vintage pair of shoes I see. I'm sourcing things very specifically for specific purposes. So, you know, I don't even have a studio space. I have my desk.
Right.
The shoes that I have at the moment, you know, are like stored away, and they'll be pulled out every single day.
Right. For photos and whatnot. Yeah.
I do have in my closet, it's like an open closet, and I'll have like the first line of shoes be what's in the drop, so I can visually see them, pair them with outfits, or like wear them out if I want to for a photo. But really the organization is like the key of it is not having a ton.
Too much.
Yeah.
I know.
Sometimes it gets a little out of hand.
Yeah.
Mirror Palais has a lot of my shoes.
Yeah.
They store them for me.
For you. Yeah. For someone who wants to build like a capsule vintage wardrobe or like mini collection, what tips would you have, or like where would you recommend starting?
I would say start with the things that make you comfortable and go from there.
Mhm.
So if it's a pair of sweats and like a white tee, those are all things that you can find vintage,
Mhm.
you know, and iterate off of. And not everything has to be vintage. But if you're talking about building a capsule wardrobe, I don't like it when someone says, okay, capsule wardrobe is one pair of jeans, one pair of black pants, one
Mhm.
pair of flats, like
Like a black blazer. Yeah.
What if that doesn't look good on me? What if that
Mhm.
doesn't make me feel comfortable?
Mhm.
For
So
me,
true. Your basics
it's
could be totally different.
yeah,
A
for
denim
me,
button down.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's what I'm wearing today. It's
Yeah.
a pair of vintage boots. It's a pair of vintage Levi's that now I have 6 pairs of and
Yeah.
wear throughout the week,
Mhm.
and a button down that's like loose fitting and that I have, you know, another 5 of in different colors.
Yeah.
So it's just starting with the things that make you feel comfortable and then going from there. In terms of like finding, you know, the vintage thing that you're looking for, I would say don't sleep on the secondhand apps. I think you can find a really good deal on them if you know what you're looking for.
Mhm.
They
Mhm.
become really overwhelming when you don't know what you're looking for
Yeah.
and you're just like scrolling through a sea of endless things. But, you know, if I was looking for another Ralph Lauren jean button down, which I love, that's more easier to find and like could be found affordably
Yeah.
on like a Poshmark.
Totally. And like, what are some of the most popular things that you feel like people are requesting right now, or always? Is there like, I'm sure there's certain basics that everybody asks for.
I feel like you know them too, you know, because you're like, I see it all.
Yeah.
I would say it's funny, like the shoes that I had included in some of my earlier drops are now these like holy grail shoes that people look
if you
for.
can get your hands on. Yeah.
That are so expensive. The price of them have gone up on the vintage market an insane
So
amount.
much. Yeah.
Insane.
Mhm.
I would say there's like holy grail shoes people are always looking for, like the mesh Chanel vintage slingbacks that I tied ribbons around them and you can like lace them up.
Okay. I don't even know which ones you're talking about, but
When
now I
you
have
see
to
them,
look.
you'll
I'll know.
recognize them.
Okay. Okay.
The Chanel like rosebud sandals.
Those are so cute.
I get a lot of requests from brides looking for like a special pair of vintage white shoes.
Yeah. I know. I wish I sort of did like a vintage lacy Manolo or something with my dress.
It's never too late.
It's not
You can renew the vows.
I know, but I feel like renewing vows is like a curse on a marriage. I feel like anybody that renews their vows almost gets divorced. But I feel like that's also coming from just all the reality TV that I watch.
Probably. I wouldn't know much about that. I'm not.
You're not
Not anywhere there yet.
absorbing that content.
Yeah.
So, okay, some of those shoes. Anything else that's super popular right now?
People love like a vintage sunglass too. I've included these vintage like Celine sunnies that are actually very reminiscent of the ones Carolyn Bessette used to wear. I think the inspo is from them directly.
Okay.
Celine Optique made those. But I get requests for things all day, every day. And usually it's actually very specific things that someone might be looking for. You know, like a specific pair of Chanel's. I got a request the other day for a little Fendi baguette bag. A Fendi croissant bag that's like a white sequin. So I expect she's probably a bride.
Yeah.
So,
that sounds so cute.
Yeah, they are really cute.
Yeah.
They're like this big.
I feel like baguette bags are having a moment.
The croissant, you know,
the croissant ones. I know.
Baguette and croissant.
Yeah.
But the croissants are literally like 4 inches.
I know, and you can't fit anything in them.
Surprisingly, you can actually fit a lot.
Really?
I can.
Okay. I'm like, how big's your phone?
Well, not my phone.
Okay.
Not
well, I
the
guess
phone.
no one is really like putting their phone away anyways.
No.
Ew, that's
My
so
phone
gross
is
though.
always in my hand. It's sad.
I know, right? But it's like true. You're not really putting your phone away in your bag.
No.
Okay, I want to do a fun rapid fire with you.
Okay.
Okay. And they don't also have to be rapid fire. They can be like, okay, fashion and or decorating pet peeves. You can start with fashion if you want.
Decorating pet peeves. This is actually funny you asked this because I threw mine away. Pampas grass.
Oh my God, so over it. And I feel bad because my sister's wedding was all pampas grass.
Okay, wedding is a little different.
Yeah.
If you have the pampas grass in the corner, please reach out to me and I will help you find a replacement
You're
decor.
so right.
Because it's done. I can't look at it anymore.
I know, you're so right.
Mine was hiding. I hid it a long time ago, but I just threw it away and I was like, thank God that era is over.
It's so weird when it hits you. It's like it's been there for so long and then you're like, whoa, why has that been there for so long?
No.
Yeah.
Fashion pet peeves, I don't know that I like have any. Because I haven't really thought about this that much.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say I don't know, for me, because I'm so into it, but I don't want to shame anyone either.
I know, don't.
You know, like I was going to say like the whole outfit from Zara, but that's the reality for so many people. And
totally.
You know, like.
I know. I'm with you.
I don't think I have any fashion.
I don't have any pet peeves either. It's like if whatever makes you feel comfortable, go for it.
And what do I care if you're like totally bother me?
But like I have like one that just pops out because I just hate myself in them. But V-necks, like I like a high V-neck that's like a sweater vest team, but I really don't like a V-neck T-shirt.
I haven't bought one in probably 15 years since
I'm just saying. These shoes are actually reminding me of this shoe that I wish I still had. So the shoe is so chic. Are those Prada?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had them, but with a shorter heel. But I wore them with this awful picture. I'm going to pop it up here, but this awful orange dress. I'm going to send you a picture after this and you're going to die. But I sold the boots and now I'm upset that I sold the boots because it was probably like 10 years ago when I just never thought that I would wear that again.
I'll find them for you.
Oh my God.
Just send me a photo.
Okay. Okay, trends that you are really into right now or that you're feeling like are super easy to just pick up and put on when you're getting dressed.
What I'm wearing now.
Yeah.
Jeans on jeans.
Denim on denim.
Denim on denim.
It always works.
I never was a denim on denim girly. I don't know why, but I love it with any shoe. You could do it with a boot. You could do it with like a sexy strappy heel in summer.
Yeah.
I love jeans on jeans with a pearl necklace.
That's
I don't know.
really
Something
cute.
about it's very chic to me.
Yeah.
So that is definitely an outfit I've been like reaching for. I also love like especially going into summer, the like just kind of like the vintage cotton slip dress with like a black undies under. It's not for everyone.
That's
get that.
really cute. Yeah.
But there's something very free about wearing that publicly for me.
I totally feel that. I mean, I'm all into like that mesh see-through dressing.
Yeah.
And like, why not? Like feel a little bit of the air underneath. Like, why do we need to be all locked up? Yeah. All right, your comfiest sneakers. Do you wear sneakers?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I'm in sneakers 99.9% of the time.
Oh my God, what sneakers are you
sneakers.
in? Me too.
Literally live in a sneaker. And if I'm not in a sneaker, I'm in a flat. I wore my heels for you.
I love that.
So like I'm going to be a little fancy, but I'm obsessed with Solomon sneakers.
Love Solomon sneakers.
They're so comfortable.
So comfortable.
I live in them.
I'm not like 100% sure what to do with like the extra lace. I like tuck them under the front.
That thing drives me crazy. But
they're so cute and they come in just like the greatest color combinations.
I think they're such a chic sneaker with like a legging and even like a trench coat over. I don't know. I just love it. So I'm always in my Solomons. Love APLs too. People are like hating on Adidas Sambas. Maybe that's a fashion pet peeve for some. I personally love my Sambas.
I mean, I love the shape. I feel like just because they're trendy, they're getting hate. You know, it's like, can we think of another shoe to pair this with? But the shape is so specific.
Yeah.
And you don't want to wear that shape in another sneaker that's like trying to be the Samba. You know what I mean?
Exactly. But speaking of Sambas, I think a lot of shoes coming out of Adidas right now are just unique and very trendy and can be paired with like a jean or a legging and like can go both ways and are pretty affordable. I love my Wales Bonners Sambas. I love anything that she's doing with the brand, any shoes she's designing. I think they're a little bit different if you don't want the like classic white and black Samba.
Yeah, totally.
And I get most of mine on StockX, and like you can find some just like really cool iterations and colors.
I found like a cool black leather pair with like a blue stripe that was really cute.
I love them. I don't know why they're getting hate.
Yeah.
So I'm in that most of the time.
And then most comfortable heels, comfiest heels.
Okay, so Chanel. It like just always.
I'm so uncomfortable in mine right now.
Maybe they're too small.
I think maybe they are.
Are they vintage?
I'm upset. Yeah.
Okay, so vintage Chanel runs very narrow.
Yeah. Well, I have a really narrow foot, but it's like it's digging into my heel here.
They might be too small on you.
Yeah.
But if you get the right size of Chanel,
it should be fine.
It could be a little bit tricky to figure out your sizing, but for me, I find their heels the most comfortable, long-lasting. Manolos I find pretty uncomfortable, but I do love their heels.
Yeah, they're so cute. They're just like the shape of them is also so good.
And Prada, I think if you have more of a narrow foot, Prada is very comfortable. If you have a wider foot, probably not. But
it's actually I have a narrow foot, and Prada's great for me. I got a really cute pair of like ballerina Pradas, and they're really, really cute. They're so comfortable.
Yeah.
Okay. Your favorite kind of inquiry or sourcing request?
I mean, all of them. I'm honored if someone comes to me and asks for me to help them find something.
Yeah.
I'm even more honored if we're actually able to find it. But I would say the like special ones, the like I'm giving birth soon and want to get a push present. I'm getting married and you know, someone's buying this for me and I want it to come from you. I just sold a Cartier Baignoire watch that I bought myself for my 28th birthday. So it was my golden birthday.
Yeah.
And then I decided to sell it because I have the larger one and it was a mini. And I was like, I do not need two of these. That's crazy. And coincidentally, the woman that bought it, and we were emailing, she said, I bought this watch to mark the birth of my son. And I was like, that's so special to me that like I bought this, you know, and it was special and I let it go and that's special and it's going to someone
to a special place.
That like that has real like meaning behind it.
Yeah.
So those types of things just like are very meaningful and like warm my heart.
Yeah, and bring purpose to the whole thing.
Absolutely.
Has there ever been something that you've regretted selling?
God,
I've had people ask you this all the time.
I mean, give me a few years, I'll probably have a lot of regrets.
I know. I'm like, you're starting to sell so much now.
I mean, yes and no. Like for sure, there's things that are hard to part with, or there's things that I've bought for myself that I've included in a drop that I'm like,
should I? Shouldn't I?
Yeah. But then it sells, and I'm like, you know what? That just means that someone wants this so much more than I did.
Yeah.
And like, it's just someone wants it. And that in itself is meaningful. But for sure, though, like Chanel Rosebud sandals, I've mentioned them like 3 times. I don't know why they keep coming up.
Because they're obviously very popular right now.
They're popular
and they're beautiful. They're special.
But like the ones in my size you know, I've been sad about the like Gucci horse bit bags.
Yeah.
You know, there's been a few of them that there's been 2 actually that I held on to. I'm like, these are just too good to sell.
I want to come over and like have a private viewing of your whole collection.
You have to.
So fun. Okay, the items that are always in your bag.
A lip. I love like a Summer Fridays lip.
Like an oily, glossy thing. Yeah.
Or like a Say lip. I always have a Charlotte Tilbury lip pencil. I usually will have like a Supergroup little sunscreen, my wallet.
Good for you.
My keys and a seashell.
Aww. Like a special seashell, like one that's always comes with you everywhere.
Like having shell. I'm a Pisces.
Yeah, so am I.
So I
love shells.
Is it? I like have them in my bedside. Sometimes I'm like, I need good vibes. It's going under my pillow.
Oh my
tonight.
God. I'm obsessed.
And
I have
I'll
a
put
whole
it in my
bowl.
bag.
Oh my God. So I have a whole bowl of shells in my kitchen. That's like, everyone's like, what is this bowl of shells? And then now Timmy's like, I always want to collect shells, but he's like, you're not allowed to like collect shells. Like
in some beaches you can't.
I know. But that's so cute. It's like your version of a crystal that makes you feel like, yeah.
The Pisces version.
Yeah, exactly. And you like hold it up to your ear and you can hear the ocean.
I mean, it's like a tiny little
thing.
Broken coral that I've like, that's been with me since I've been collecting shells since I was like 4 years old.
I love that.
I'm like,
so you have shells all over your house?
All over.
Oh my God. I love that.
And like in things too, in the car, everywhere.
Oh my God. So cute. All right. And the 3 skincare products you couldn't live without.
Oof, that's so hard.
Or what are you using like regularly right now that you're loving?
Okay. So I have bad hormonal acne.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say right now, Kate Somerville gave me some like, there's like an AHA peel.
Okay.
And salicylic acid cream. Those have like really helped my skin. So I would say right now I can't really live without those.
Yeah.
Summer Fridays jet lag mask always saves me.
Yeah.
Love Rhode too.
So
their
good.
moisturizers I love.
Yeah.
Chanel, they have an SPF 50 that I really love.
Mm-hmm.
And
what do you think about that like egg hand cream that I feel like?
I mean, I've used it. It's it always pays off for me because it's in so much of my content.
It's right. I'm like, I want it because it looks and feels so
it's
cute.
Great for your hands.
Yeah.
Cydia also is a great hand cream.
I love Cydia. And they're like exfoliating hand wash is so good. Yeah.
I love like a really just moisturizing, softening hand cream.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I have like my daily skincare lineup that, I'm like, I can't live without any of it.
Yeah. Okay. So tell us when this next drop is coming out.
It's coming out in less than a week, June 11th at 12 p.m. PST.
Okay. Amazing. I don't know if this episode is going to be out by then, but either way. It's
fine.
Yeah.
It comes out on the 11th. They'll still like, I have homeware on there too.
Amazing. So, and then I'm sure you're already planning your next drop.
Yeah, I'm planning some things going into the summer. I'm planning some things going into September too. So
okay, amazing.
I'm excited for all that's to come.
Yay. Okay, and where can everyone find you?
They can find me at the Millennial Decorator on Instagram or themillennialdecorator.com online.
Okay, amazing. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you for having me.
I'm sorry I was late, but that was so great.
No, I'm so honored, Whitney.